All right, welcome to another episode of Minneapolis by Night. This is the vampire venue, and tonight we are at the the newly acquired Giovanni Compound. And Myrcella is supposed to meet with it's Alex, right?
Yep, Alexander Smith.
Alexander Smith. And they're discussing this virus outbreak. Um,
Okay.
when you get to the place, yeah, it's heavily guarded. Somebody greets you at the door. It's a gentleman, and he just looks at you, and he's like, "Name?"
He's kind of got the. Is this like at the front door or at like a gate to the property or some such?
This is at the gate.
Hmm. He's gonna say, Miss Giovanni's expecting me. I'm Alexander.
They give a nod, and you're let in. And yes,
Drives.
okay.
Hmm?
I said, go
Oh, go
ahead.
ahead.
No. When you get
I was
down
gonna
the
say he's gonna go.
driveway, you're driving down the driveway.
We have the worst timing right now.
We do. We just keep doing the same thing. We're just like interrupting each other. We're dicks.
Uh, I mean, at least I have one. I have an excuse.
I don't.
Anyway, so he's gonna go ahead and just head on down the driveway once he gets up to wherever it's looking like he can actually park his stuff. He'll make his way inside.
Oh, you find where you can park your car, and yeah, there is somebody at the door too, but because they let you past the gate, and he just opens the door and says she's in her office and gives you
Okay. So when once he gets to the office, he's gonna do the polite thing and offer quick knock and before before opening it. And
Oh, come in.
yeah, when as
Yeah.
he as he's walking in, he's got a um like a actual like 3-ring binder in under one arm, and as he comes walking across the room, he's like, well, first of all, was she actually at the Primogen meeting? Like
No,
out of
she was not.
like off screen? Hmm.
Nope.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
She was Julian, the prior Don was there though.
Okay. So as he comes walking across, he's like, "Oh, it's good to have gotten to hear back from you. You've been with everything going on. I expect you've been an exceedingly busy woman."
Very, very. I finally taken a reprieve from the office, as it were, only to find myself in my home office some more. Feel free to
Well, the
sit.
rest.
She motions to the chair across the desk from her.
He he goes ahead and takes it, and he uh, sets the binder across his lap. He's like, "So,
You're interested in
um,
this virus?
I'm trying to do what I can to try and help the Permission Council as a whole make a coordinated effort here.
Oh,
Unfortunately, while I have quite a bit of data about it to try and help curb this issue, without actual information about method of transmission or incubation period, it makes the data
Incubation period 48 hours. But it
wonderful.
don't it only comes up in humans as a stronger version of a cold or the flu. Uh,
Yeah.
it's it looks like it's been engineered,
Well,
almost
it
like
kills
a old.
vampires. That's kind of a
Yeah.
given, isn't it?
Uh, I'm telling you what research has told me. I've still got
Yeah.
people working on samples in the lab. Uh, but the closest natural thing to it is a old strain of Ebola. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it really doesn't take long to catch it at all. Like I had a few people getting sick because they didn't cover themselves properly.
Excellent.
Um, you know,
So,
I did find some interesting artifacts in both victims' personal effects,
how do you mean?
leading to a bar called the Gilded Swan.
Sounds like it must be run by the Toreador if I knew any better.
It is.
Hmm.
Uh,
That's so.
yeah.
So,
Um.
it has a 48-hour incubation. So, for 48 hours, you can have it, spread it,
Oh.
and not actually be
Oh.
showing any symptoms.
Well, sorry. That's how long it takes for it to kill you or to pass once you catch it. I apologize. Um.
Understandable. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I don't have the medical background that you do, so I'm I remember how to deal with a common cold, and I remember that there's a difference between viruses and a bacterial infection. But
Oh well. It seems like it might be. My theory is maybe a trial run on a biological weapon of some sort because as I'm going through things, there is no known outbreaks of this particular thing anywhere else.
which, considering what we're up against right now, is not exactly, I suppose, surprising. Unfortunately.
It's true. It's true. I got now. See, I got two different types of DNA off of the kindred's teeth, which it just seems really weird. He was really like I don't know. I mean, I was able to get samples off of them. One of them was clean, and the other one wasn't. I don't know
Hmm.
how. I don't know how the virus is actually like contracted. I mean, I know that you can find traces of it in the blood, but there's I mean, besides feeding, and if that's the issue, then
There's
oh boy,
poison as
we're
well.
fucked. Yeah.
Which ultimately, let's be honest, there's only two sustenances that our kind need. We need blood and social activity. I highly doubt that
Yes.
it's contracted by talking to people, and if that's the case, then you and I are
Well,
both screwed right now. So, logically speaking, that would mean it would need to be transferred through the blood. So,
right. No.
perhaps
Go ahead.
there, the reports that I have say that there was originally only one human death, and
Yes.
and then so one human death to the anarchs being wiped out. Was the human a ghoul?
One of yes, I believe so.
So how much would you want to bet that to one extent or another, this is in fact some form of magically directed virus? They have the will.
Ooh.
They have the mages.
Yeah.
And if they know where it's at, or they have inoculated themselves in some way, they can feed with impunity, and then it makes us have to start second guessing everything.
Maybe.
So I do not particularly know the intricacies of magic, or the more uh, I apologize. I don't want to. Outlandish is not the appropriate word, but neither is extravagant. Extravagant. The more extraordinary disciplines that our people can bring to bear, such as the Tremere your and your family. I'm not familiar with those, and so I suppose what my question is supposedly the Tremere have a method of, once it's detected, being able to remove it from someone. If we can get live viable samples to the Tremere, how likely do you think it might be that they could use their thaumaturgy to reverse engineer some form of inoculation?
They might be able to, and I, they might be able to do that. And if we want to play with that, I think I might be able to make that happen.
It's certainly worth looking into, because I would rather not have to
Mess
admit
around
what it
with
feels
this.
like to be sick.
Nor would I. I see it enough. Well,
So, with that, so it takes 24 hours to kill you, but do you know
48
were you
hours. Only if you're a ghoul or a kindred.
sorry, 48 hours. So, it takes 48 hours for it to become lethal.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it can sit in the system before it starts becoming active?
I don't know.
Didn't think so, but I figured I'm
I know.
hoping against hope.
Yeah, but generally, nobody's been known to make it past the 48-hour marker
All right.
as far as ghouls and kindred.
Well, at the very least, it helps give a timetable for the data that I do have. Maybe with this, I'll be able to hopefully try and discern a point of origin, and then that way we might be able to find who it started with. Because unless they manage to take one of the anarchs and pin them down and experiment on them with it, it would make sense that it was probably introduced to the humans first, so that they could end up just giving it
Okay.
to us.
Okay.
I'm trying to think about how it might have come about, but
I know one of the samples that was positive for this virus uh, was a con man. Joe Smith uh, hung out in Gangrel and Anarch territory,
Joe
as
Smith.
we know it.
All right, I might be able to find something about him.
I tried to find out a little bit. Like I said, he's just a con man. Went to jail a few times.
Well, if he's got a record, that means there's a paper trail, and if he went to jail, that means that he would have had to go through probation at some point. So
Um,
Smith is where he's at.
His most recent arrest was in the Gangrel territory a few months ago. Now here's the fun part. This virus, it seems to break down once the task is complete. So it's like slowly just is gone.
So, so the evidence eventually just goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Thorough bastards. As he's like rubbing his eyes.
Yeah. It's really fun. But both of these particular individuals were at the Gilded Swan. So I don't know about everybody else, but I mean it's going on in the. I know humans are getting sick, but they're only keeping it for, like I said, 48 hours, and then they're fine.
Makes sense. They don't want to draw too much attention to it or leave us something to actually follow.
Correct.
There's no point in them killing the food. Interesting. Well, in case for some reason you have the unfortunate event of contracting it yourself, Ransdale had said that for the steep cost of a boon, he can try and remove it from anyone. So, just in case, that's a heads up that I would keep in mind.
Yeah, naturally. I do have some blood samples. I made sure to snag them for our for my particular use, but you can use some of them as well. If it'll help the Tremere figure something out. I mean, I guess I could go back and and do something really creepy and learn more. But the last time I did that, it didn't end very well.
I'm sorry, what was that? You cut out a little bit.
She said that she could always go back and do something creepy to gain more information, but the last time she did that, it didn't end very well.
Well, I would advise against something that's going to draw too terribly much attention, but frankly, at this point, information is a sparse commodity.
This is one that needs to be figured out quick, like. Maybe I don't wanna. I don't
If it
wanna.
puts yourself if it puts yourself in any particular danger, I would honestly advise against it.
Doesn't put me in
If
any
the
danger. It just. The last time I did this particular thing. Do you know what it feels like to be flayed?
close, not
I'm.
anything particularly pleasant.
I most certainly know what that feels like now, and you're right. It's far from pleasant.
Honestly, I think probably our best bet, despite I will not go so far as to say that I trust the Tremere Chantry, but
And why is that?
well, if we're going to get into the most basic reasoning for it,
Besides,
the statement of though you, it is common to distrust what one doesn't understand. I do not understand thaumaturgy. I don't understand their methods, and it seems a bit. Despite the fact that we exist and we know that there are other things that we always thought were fantasy, magic is one of those things that's still a little bit hard to wrap my head around.
oh well, if you think about it if you think about it this way, take one of whatever your abilities are, one of your kindred abilities. Now, is that technically you don't just have those when you're mortal? It comes with the blood. Is that not even something similar? Being able to use that,
Yes, it
so
rather.
it shouldn't be so hard to wrap your head around.
It's more. I can have an idea of what a Toreador is capable of. I can have an idea of what a gangrel is capable of. The Tremere,
No,
I've I've seen Tremere do interesting and frankly crazy things. So where's the limit to that thaumaturgy? It's hard to say. I've
yeah.
never seen two Tremere
If I
know
hear
this.
correctly, they're capable of many, 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 many things.
Yes, I suppose I'd probably misspoken, so I apologize. It's not that I don't trust them. It's simply unease. I don't know. But either way, what I'd been attempting to get at though is, despite any of those reservations that I might have, let's be perfectly honest, between the Tremere and the Giovanni, trying to, it's likely to be your clans that figure out how to get past this, unless the Nosferatu can manage to steal an antidote.
If we can find out who made it.
Yes, that would be that would be incredibly helpful, because then we could not only acquire an antidote, but then we could rip their head off, and then both problems are solved.
Oh,
He
yes,
kind of
yes.
smiles while he's holding his hands out, like, eh, eh.
No, she's totally all about ripping this fucker's head off.
Caused her so much of a freaking headache so far.
Right? Oh, well, yeah. Where it came from and who created it, and we really need to find out how it operates in full in all of its stages,
Yes.
and if there's a way to, there's an antidote for it.
Mm-hmm. Wait, a thought just occurred to me though.
What?
Um, ghouls have been dying.
Yes,
Ghouls do not feed from humans.
it's true.
Well, I
It's
suppose
true.
we should both keep an eye on how we feel in the next few days, just in case it happens to be an airborne pathogen.
Right.
And if that's the case, then this is going to get much, much worse before it gets any better.
Yeah. It means limited time to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Or by the end of this, everyone is going to owe the Tremere a lot of favors.
A lot.
Right.
I'm
Well,
sure it'll make them happy.
he
Everyone's in their debt.
at the very least, for the sake of trying to get as many eyes on this information as possible, he's gonna offer the binder that he'd had, just setting it on her desk. That is what I've been able to dig up about who caught it and when, and as much about where as possible. All of the information about the anarchs are there, and so as we figure out more about this virus, that should help try and give us a bit more of a geographic area to actually be looking at, just in case the Gilded Swan isn't actually the point of origin.
Right. Well, see,
Because
the
if
thing
it's,
is, these two victims, uh, they didn't really hang out with the same crowd or anything, so it's not like they were together. It's either a coincidence or
or we have multiple
not.
points of origin.
Yep, which it could be feasibly if you think about it. Potentially any place that kindred hang out. But I also don't know if it affects anybody else. As far as like maybe the shifters or the will workers.
That's of course a concern as well. Well, it would also make sense that if they were going to be trying to use it as a form of attack, that multiple points of origin are going to be the only thing that makes sense, really. As far as if it affects the others, I can get in touch with the liaisons for each of them and see what we can find out.
I have my own in with the shifters.
Oh, well, then I'll leave the shifters to you. The only thing I ask is, for the sake of this endeavor, let's try to work as much in tandem as we can. If you find out something, please let me know, and I will make sure to return the favor.
All right. I can do that. I felt like I'm missing something. I don't know. See note here.
Well, he knows that he needs to go look into this Joe Smith dude, which the good news is he at least has the means to do so.
All right. Yeah. This one's really just a brain boggler.
And unfortunately, the part that makes it even harder to trace then is the fact that it takes 48 hours for it to take anybody out. The more virulent it is, the easier it is to follow it back because you have less places that they had been at where they could have contracted it.
Right.
So,
Still stinks.
well, anyway.
What? This one is.
I couldn't hear you. You're talking really quiet.
Oh. I said, well, this whole situation really stinks, but it is what it is. Guess we just gotta work harder and faster.
Yep. I'll get a hold of Mr. Ransdale, the regent of the Tremere, and make sure that he knows to get in touch with you soon. If you need any help with making sure that he can get a hold of any of the fresher samples, again, stop dying. That's my job. If you need any help making sure that he can get a hold of any of the fresher samples, again, just ask.
I have some right now.
Yeah.
It's quite literally, he just needs to call me.
Yep. I know that sometimes there can be issues with paperwork with bodies disappearing out of a city morgue, though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take a body. Blood samples. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Body, I can't really pull that.
All right. Well, hopefully he taps the binder for just a sec. Well, hopefully at the very least this will help, and hopefully we can manage to get this sorted out soon. Because while the CDC knows what they're doing, unless they happen to have somebody like Giles working for them, I doubt that it's going to go anywhere.
Right.
Well, unless you have any additional questions for me, I suppose I should head off. I have a few more meetings I need to get to this evening.
Very well, very well. You don't, she'll, actually leave her, give you a card with her actual phone number on it so you don't have to just email her. It's
Yeah,
probably faster this way.
yes. I appreciate that. He smiles at it and stuffs it into his suit jacket.
Well, I suppose back to work.
Never ends, does it?
Nope.
So he stands up and he offers his hand and says, "It was a pleasure to meet you, Miss Giovanni. Hopefully next time it will be under less rushed circumstances."
She'll reach out and shake his hand. And it was a pleasure to meet you as well, Mr. Smith.
He just kind of smiles and gives a little bit of a nod before turning to head out and then head back into the city.
All right. And she's just gonna get back to work on her miscellaneous who's it, what's it's, new office, things to explore. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching.